welcome to the Clashing of Steel. And today, once again, I am playing Catapults. Catapults are interesting. They are fun, they're more tactical than one might actually think. They can be really useful or really useless. There is this grey area between them too, but it usually isn't shown, at least not for me. I actually didn't plan to do a catapult video. I was planning to do one other, but anytime I get really pissed about players not acting rationally, the logical instincts or basic understanding of even the simplest of tactics, I kinda get enraged and switch over to catapults because I know I can at least manage myself and be somewhat useful, if nothing else. I still do love the swordsmen, but they just require so much tactical cooperation and teamwork. But probably the worst part is that even after being enraged in this match, I am still not allowed to rest or take a small break from running to opponents in hopes of survival. That is what I hate about catapults. I need to be very careful with these horsemen who are kinda pulling my focus right now. Instead, I should have been focusing the elephants in the middle, who are gonna come rather close. I have to keep my eyes on everything, basically. I need to be aware of what's going on, and that has been a horrible thing that happened right now. Although horsemen are afraid of me, the elephants are not. I am not able to deal with them, and nor have my team members actually been giving me enough view range on the west side, or no, it's east side and the middle of the map. They were hiding in the bushes. Although I can understand their fear, it is kinda late to run after the elephants right now. Well, maybe it's never late, but seeing as they're coming after me, it would have been a bit better if they would have started harassing right away. That way, I may have not had to reposition myself, could have focused the other elephants, or been useful in some other way. Because right now, I'm just forced out of my comfort zone. If they're smart elephants, they can easily avoid everything that's going after them. And they're trying to avoid it. They're trying to avoid the most infantry and ranged units. But because they have pushed through and are allowed to roam free, they are horrible for me. They are behind our lines, which means they're pretty much near me, close to me, around my areas. I can't deploy myself because I'm in the rear. I can't be in the front lines. And I have not been able to be useful in many other cases. Although I'm trying to do as much against these elephants here as I can, this will still go most likely horribly for me. The only thing that are saving me are the javelins. And maybe not even them. But at least if they're coming after me, the javelins might have a field day with them. At this point, I almost thought if the elephants are going after me, I'm gonna just move my artillery engineers away and use my spearmen to defend javelins, because as artillery player, when something like this happens to, when there are opponents around you, I don't mean when horsemen are around you. If you have stakes up or anything that can defend you, horsemen won't be any problem. But something like elephants, which can just walk through anything and not care about everyone, or basically everyone, they can just easily force me to run, force many other troops to run, and not give us any chance or any breathing room, so to say. Although I'm hoping to put my catapults up there behind there, to be at least somewhat of a use, I'm kinda afraid because everything will usually go sideways. So instead I'm switching to positioning it here. And seeing these barbarians, it kinda doesn't feel like a right move. But since they're already deployed, I just want to focus the elephants. If my artillery engineers die, I'm willing to sacrifice them. But as long as we can get the elephants down, it is easier for our team to manage against them. We just have like 3 players with ranged units left. And not sure if everyone else can pretty much defend us. And of course the barbarians are coming after me. In this match I've been forced so many times, it is actually hard for me to be useful and enjoy playing catapult units. I mean, catapults are special in their own way, but seeing how many of these battles go, which are highly turned against me, or where opponents have had great chances to sneak around us, this has caused me a lot of problems. Usually my matches don't go like this. I am still allowed to have some mobility, some positioning. I'm still allowed to do my task at original or standard position, so to say, or at least start there. But in many of these matches where opponents can just push in ridiculous ways, like they have in this match, I have been forced out of my preferred locations. I have not been able to support, also partially perhaps because of my team. And the big problem is, even if I would manage to deploy myself in these areas right now, there is nothing for me to shoot at. These are the last remnants that we have to deal with. We have a lot of dead infantry, a lot of dead soldiers, so to say, and we have quite a lot of alive ranged units. But these horsemen here, I think they kinda wasted themselves too heavily. They could have been useful, perhaps when we would have moved towards the opposing base. They might have forced us to spread or do something that would have made it easier for the opponents to manage against us. But well, this is the predicament we are in. I have been pretty much useless in this match. I have been forced by the elephants. I have been surrounded from different sides. I have been forced to focus with the targets I would have not preferred to focus. And I have been forced to run in positions I would have not preferred to move. But yes, so only thing I pretty much can do right now is set myself up here, defend the base until everyone else just captures. This here was just to show that even playing Catapult can sometimes be ridiculous. You might be forced out of your comfort zone, you might not be able to do what should be your focus. May it be because of poor view range or harassing opponents or whatever reason. I personally hate elephants. I can accept them, they are good and strong. I can accept one unit or one player with elephants usually per game. But having two pairs of elephants in a match, they can be really strong if used properly, or they can just be garbage if they are spread in meaningless location in meaningless ways in hopes of doing something that they're not supposed to do. As they were trying to come after my catapults and javelins were chasing them. The first time they tried to come after me, that was the right move, but the second time when I was just deploying my catapults, that was the wrong move. Because they just exposed themselves to the javelins. And the moment they allowed javelins to easily catch up with them was the moment when they started losing control of the situation. As long as they would have kept javelins kiting or anything like that and forcing me at the same time, that would have been like the worst situation. Other elephants could have been useful in managing everything that was defending our base. There are so many ways this could have gone down. A bit better for me, a bit better for the opponents, but this is the predicament we are in. I'm just trying to defend it here. If someone should capture, I can easily defend, and if it should be possible, I am willing to do some offense as well. But, as I said, even as a catapult, sometimes you are not allowed to rest. And so, let's take a look at the scoreboard. And for a change, I am at the very bottom of my team. My team had 2 elephant players as well. Oh my god, the opponents had actually 3. That was all horrible. And the opponents had Catapult as well, who was basically as useless as I. Actually, even more. Perhaps the big problem was that their Sulla was rather useless, while our Caesar, with the javelins, was very capable. The opposing team's Alexander's horsemen were actually pulling my focus in the beginning. That is why I probably was not able to shoot at the elephants. But well, the opposing team's worst Hannibal player was the one with the elephants who tried to come after me. That probably didn't go as it was planned. Later I was also forced by Vercingetorix of the opposing team, the one with handlers and 1 sword infantry, although they were still pretty much in remnants because our javelins, who were third best in our team, probably should have been the first best, seeing as they were so useful. But that's the match I was in. At least I did something compared to the opposing Catapult. I basically earned no score. I was able to make a couple of shots at the elephants. I think it was 1 or 2 at the horsemen as well. I tried to be useful. I tried to make a difference. I tried to make a change, but I was just forced out of my comfort zone to reposition and handle everything thrown at me as best as I could. So, catapults are not always as straightforward as one might think. They are not always as stationary, and this match is a simple proof of that. If you wanted to stay alive, you had to move. Anyways, don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching.